Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today I will be showing you round the handover on the Auto Trail Tracker EK. On the driver's side of the vehicle, if you use the metal bronzy chrome key and use it to open here, this is where you'll find your leisure battery. And then above you do have your main electric hookup point. So this is where you hook the vehicle up with 240 electric. So get your hookup lead, lift the collar and slide on here. But to unhook the vehicle, press the blue button in and pull it off. Always hook the van up first, then the sight. If you're lucky enough to be on a super sight, you have got a TV point there, so you can put a coax from here to the safe post, and then that'll mean you can use their aerial should you struggle to get a signal on your site. And below you have your wastewater. So this is any water you've put down the sink, this will drain off. So shower water, dishes water, or anything you've drained off down the sink. So in the winter, make sure you drain this off, and normally you would drive over a grid on the way out of a site and leave this and open this and leave it to drain off. Moving further along, your boiler's behind here. So if you're heating the water on gas, this cover must come off, and to take off, push a bit of pressure down, put your finger in the middle and peel the cover off. Put this in the driver's door pocket, that's the best place to put it, and then when you're ready to drive off again, just slot it back on. And especially when you wash the vehicle, make sure it's on. But when it's heating the water on gas, it must come off. If it's on electric, you can leave it on. Next to it is your external shower. So on one end you'll have a trigger gun, and on the other you'll have a bullfinch connection, so you can go from off to cold to hot, but make sure the pump's on to use this. Further along, your toilet's behind here, your cassette's in there. So to get your cassette out, you press there's a small yellow lever in there, and that'll slide out. Take the cap off, go to the waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside the toilet block. Press this button, yellow button, allows a bit of air in and stops it glugging, and tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, put some water in, give it a shake and a rinse, and tip out again. If you're using the liquid form, the blue or the green liquid, a cap falls straight into here, and then it's ready to be pushed back into the vehicle, and you can use the toilet. If you're using the tablet forms, which are like sachets, a pint of fresh water in and drop one straight down the toilet. Moving around the back of the vehicle, you have your high level brake light, your reverse camera, and then your bike rack. So pull your bike rack down. These are your bike rack arms. So first and second bike. Put the bike wheels on the rail and these through the spokes to tie the bike down, and then those through the crossbars. And then in here, so again, use that funny shaped key.
South Core.
Yeah, the South Core key. And underneath here, behind this cover, which is just on press studs, you have a spare wheel. Down the passenger side, you've got a locker there for storage. You've got your fresh water drain tap here, so if you've taken on any contaminated water or you're draining the systems down for the winter or whenever you're not using it, you simply open up and this is just fresh water. Again, you drive over a grid on the way out of a site, or if you're on your driveway you can just open up and it will drain off. Your fresh water intakes here, so this opens with the round headed key, so you can lock and unlock this, push in, turn. Go and get yourself a hose pipe and fill it until it either overflows or you're happy there's enough water on board. You can see your water levels from on the main control panel. If you're well camping, you will have to take a full tank of water. If you go into a site, take a maximum of 20 litres, as this keeps your payload down and it increases your fuel economy. External gas point, so you get a bullfinch connection here. You'll need some orange gas hose and a Jubilee clip to connect it to the connector and to your barbecue or your Kadak, and then it will power off the main bottles on board. 2 fridge vents, your awning, and your gas lockers here. So gas lockers, again, use the South Core key. And then this bottle's just for demonstration. It doesn't come with a bottle unless you have told us you want one, and you'd have to pay for one. To put the pigtail onto the bottle, it's a left-hand thread, and then you'll need a gas spanner or an adjustable spanner to tighten up and then turn on at the top of the bottle. Always turn it off when you're travelling, and of course make sure it's securely strapped in. Your diesel's here, which opens with the main key you drive the van with. So you open there to fill up with diesel. And then on the slam panel you've got your tyre pressure, so 5 bar on the front, 5.5 bar on the back, which is 72.3 psi on the front and 79.5 on the rear. Underneath your passenger seat is everything you need to change your wheels, so it's got a jackknip racing, a torn eye and a screwdriver. And underneath the floor, underneath this compartment is where you'll find your engine battery. So if you ever need to replace your engine battery, you'd have to lift it through the cab floor. And your bonnet release is here. So then if you lift your second catch here to lift the bonnet, put the stay in place. You've got your weight plate here, so it is 3.3 tonne. If you were to put a tow bar on the tow, you can tow a train weight of 5.8, and then you've got your front and back axle weights. Got your paint code here, coolant, power steering fluid, screen wash, which is the main one you're going to need, brake fluid, oil dipstick for checking your levels, earth for earthing your black, jump lead for giving or receiving a jump start, sorry, and you've got your positive, which is where your red would go here, and lift the cover, and then there is your positive jump start. So once inside the vehicle, above the habitation door, you've got your main 12-volt control panel, and you've got your heating on electric this side, and heating and your hot water on gas this side. So we'll go through this first, which is your main control panel. So you've got your on-off switch, which is your master switch there, and then you've got your pump. So you must use the pump. You must use your pump for your toilet, your external shower, your kitchen tap, and your hand basin. You've got your aux, which is your awning light, which is above the out here, further down. You've got your leisure battery, so you always want your leisure battery to be the active battery, never the vehicle, so always on L, which is here, and then it'll show you your reading of your leisure battery. You can put on a V to look at the reading of the vehicle battery, but you always want to run the motorhome off the leisure side, as if not you could flatten the engine battery and you won't be going anywhere. And then you do have your fresh water reading and your wastewater reading, so there's 0 waste and nearly a full tank of fresh water on board. Next to it you've got your ultra heat on 240, so only when hooked up. So you've got off on the little O, you turn up to 2000, which is 2 kilowatts, or you've got half a kilowatt or a kilowatt, which you may be asked to use if you're on a smaller CL site. And then you've got 1 to 9 here. 9's about 30 degrees and 5's about 15, which is the temperature. Got your lights, and then you've got your heating your water on gas, where the cover must come off. Go down the gas flame, and you've got 70 degrees, 60 degrees, 50 degrees, 40 degrees and 30 degrees of heating your hot water. So in your kitchen you have 3 gas rings and 1 electric hot plate when you are hooked up only. So your gas lights like so. If you've ever got any problems lighting any other gas appliances on gas, always bring it through the hob first, because this is the highest place to prime the gas to, and then your fridge and your space heater will work. You've got your electric side, this side, so it'll indicate with a red light. Make sure you haven't knocked that off on when you're getting past and then you've hooked up, otherwise the glass lid will smash because of the heat. And then underneath you do have the grill. So, but you have to keep it in hold until the thermostat gets warm before releasing, like so. And then underneath, you've got your oven, just like so. Take your oven shelf and grill pan out when travelling, so it can make some rattle. And underneath, you do have your gas taps in this corner. So any problems with gas, we always recommend you turn it off at the top of the bottle. These are mainly for when the vehicle gets serviced. And you've got your pump for your water. So if you hear the pump kicking in, it is underneath your sink and cooker. So to operate your Dometic fridge, you've got 3 sources. So you've got off here at the top, you turn down for gas and it self-ignites, and you'll hear it clicking in the background. So this is, it self-ignites on gas, so just make sure your bottle's turned on, and you would be using this for while camping. You turn down again for hookup, which is a plug when on mains electric. So if you're lucky enough to keep this at home, we always advise that you pre-cool your fridge before you go anywhere. Put your shopping in the night before and cool your fridge down, or if you are on a site you would be using mains electric. The battery is only when the vehicle is running, so the engine, and what this does is it keeps the temperature of the fridge the same when departing. So like I said, if you keep it at home, hook it up the day before, cool it down, put your shopping in, and your shopping should be nice and fresh no matter how long you travel. You do have a travel catcher in here to stop the door from opening when in transit, and then you've got your temperature. And then once you've finished using the van for the season, or you're leaving the van for a month or 2, if you clean the fridge out, leave no food in, and just leave the door open to stop any smells and mould growing if the door's closed and air getting trapped. So just leave it open, and you do also have your freezer box. So to operate your Fedford toilet, make sure the pump's on, and you'll be able to press the blue button, which will flush the toilet. You then have a lever on the side, a grey lever. If you slide that to the right, this opens the blade in the toilet and allows your waste to deposit into the cassette. So when using it, always use it with the cassette open, and then once you finish, shut it, flush it and shut it, and then this will go red once the cassette is indicating it needs emptying. Also in here you do have your light on the side. To open the skylight, you just push it up, and then you just pull it down, and always make sure it is locked into place when travelling. Same with the windows and skylights, mustn't be open when in transit because they're just plastic and they will just blow off. And you do have fly screen, blackout blind, and then in your shower, the shower screen's held up by the turnbuckles, so when travelling make sure it is securely held into place. It'll stop it clattering about. And also when winterizing, if you take your shower head off and allow this hose to lie in the shower tray, it stops any water from gathering in the U-bend and getting basically frozen in the colder climates if we get bad weather in the winter. But you always want to drain the vehicle down in the winter, so waste, fresh and boiler, which I'll show you in a minute, and leave all your mixer taps open in the middle position to stop any air from building up. In your wardrobe, there's a cover that goes on here, but this is where your 10 litres of water in your boiler is stored. So this is your hot water system. And then in here you do have your Ultra Store on electric. So this is heating your water on electric, this switch there. And you've got a fuse here as well. This fuse here must be turned on to use the Ultra Heat, which is above the door. If this is turned off, the green light above the door for the mains 230 Ultra Heat of heating the van won't work. It must be turned on for it to work, and obviously that's heating your water on electric. So it's your Ultra Store and your Ultra Heat on electric. So underneath your driver's side rear bunk, this tap here is your winter drain tap. So in the winter, when it's down, it's holding water. You want to stand it up like so, you'll hear the water draining. It's basically draining all the water out underneath the chassis. So in the winter time you leave it stood up like so until you come to reuse the vehicle. Then you would put it down, go to the cold side of the tap first, you'll get automatic cold water. Go to the hot side, it'll cough, splutter, make all sorts of noises, and what that's doing is it's priming the system. So it's taking the water from the main tank underneath and putting it into the boiler. The boiler's rising for the 10 litres. Once it hits the 10 litre capacity, it will start bringing it through your taps, and then I'd also turn the hot water on and make sure the water's getting warm as well. But it's very important that you drain the tanks, the boiler, the fresh and the waste, but especially the boiler, as this can be a very expensive mistake if you don't and isn't covered under warranty. So this is your Truma Fire on gas. So you push down and turn and hear it tick. And then if you look in this hole here, you'll see the gas flame, which is just there, like so. So if you look in there you go, you can see the gas flame there, the little blue light. So that's lit on gas, so you've got your temperature there on gas. So if this was, and then you've got your 12 volt fan. So if this fan wasn't turned on, it would convect out the front of the fire. If you wanted to blow around the various ducts around the van, you have to turn the fan, which is your fan speed here, 1 to 5. You've got off, which convects out the front. You've got manual, which will continuously give the heat until you manually turn it down and turn it off. Or you've got A, which is automatic, so once it hits the temperature that you have selected, it will cut out and the thermostat will know that the temperature has dropped and it will cut back in. It's very simple to use, but obviously with the gas fire, people love these because if you're going wild camping, you won't want to waste your 12 volt on the fan, you'll just want it to convect out the front. To make your lounge into a bed, if you pull your lats out underneath your bed into the middle to meet the other one, and then you basically put your backrest, that'll fill the space like so, and then you'll be able to push your cushion down to make the bed. But always turn the cushions the other way around as you get the flatter surface to sleep. So now in your cab, so to the right of the driver is your handbrake. You've got your electric windows and electric mirror adjustments where you turn the joystick to see which mirror you want to adjust, either the top or the blind spot. Also on the doors you do have the Remus car blinds, so you slide them out and close, and then you've got them on the windscreen as well, so you push one up, one down, release the thing, slide them along into the middle, and then they are just magnetic. So if it's going to be a blustery night, put an elastic band or hair bobble round here to stop them pinging open. You've got your wipers and your trip computer, which goes through your miles per gallon, your range, your travelling times and so on. You've got your headlight adjustment, and this you can go into mode to change your date and time. You've got your lights and your indicators, and then you do have your speed, your cruise control down here. Manual gearbox with up and into reverse, which brings on this little monitor. Push it down, it's actually a reverse camera. So there's the back of the van for when reversing and manoeuvring the vehicle. You've got a padlock, which will lock the habitation door as well as the cab. Hazard lights, fog lights, and your heated mirrors. You've got two cigarette lighters, one with a max of 180 output. Glove bin under there, which is lockable with the key. You've got your temperature and your fan speed, must be on at least one or more for the aircon to work in the middle. And then you've got your distribution and your circulation, either recirculating air within the motorhome or bringing fresh air in. Your radio works by turning it on like so, and then you can search for your channel, and once you've found it you can press 1 to 6 to save, or you can press for a CD or disc, or you can press SRC and change it to either line in, FM1, or it'll pick up a CD when the CD's in there. You've got the same cab blind on the passenger side, and above you've got your visors and your cab lights. You've got a glove bin here, that's your case for popping the head unit out the front, the fascia. And then you've got another bit of storage here where this is heated and cooled by the air conditioning, so if you've got any sweets for on the road, put them in here instead of the fridge when the air conditioning is on cold. And then to turn the seats, use these levers, pull it out, and slide yourself round. If the seat was to get stuck on the door card or the pillow behind, if you just slide the seat forward, and then you'll be able to get the seat all the way around into the back of the motorhome. And above your lounge behind the driver's seat, you do have your power sergeant unit. So you've got all your, which has got your built-in charger, you've got all your MCBs and RCDs and all your 12 volt fuses which are listed. So it might be a good idea to go and get some spare blade fuses. You've got your solar panel which is charging 2 batteries just there, so you don't need to do anything with that, and you've got your build number on here, so if you ever need parts for the vehicle, quote this number and we'll get the right part for your vehicle. And here you've got your aerial, so you would loosen this off, be able to loosen it off at the top, and push the aerial up should you struggle to get a signal, and use the toggle there to direct the aerial. But always make sure it's pulled down and tightened up for when you're in the vehicle and travelling, especially when you're travelling. But when you're using it, it can be up. Got your booster here, and then you've got your TV or DVD, and there with your toggle, with your toggle switches.